Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about something very simple, but also very real: daily life.
Yeah, and it's interesting because daily life sounds normal, almost boring. But actually, that's where most of our life happens.
Exactly. We spend so much time waiting for big moments, success, achievements, special days, but in reality, life is mostly made up of small, repeated routines.
Wake up, check your phone, eat, work, scroll, maybe watch something, and then sleep, and then repeat.
And sometimes it feels like you're stuck, like nothing is really changing.
Yeah, like you're moving but not really going anywhere.
Have you ever had that moment where you just stop and think, what am I actually doing with my life?
Oh, definitely, more than once. And honestly, I think a lot of people feel that way but don't talk about it.
True, we tend to keep it to ourselves. On the outside, everything looks fine, but inside, there are a lot of questions.
Exactly, and I think part of the problem is how we measure our life. We always compare it to something bigger,
Like achievements, money, status.
or even what we see on social media.
Yeah, social media really changes how we see our own life.
We scroll and see people traveling, building businesses, achieving dreams, and suddenly our normal day feels not enough.
Even though we know deep down that what we see is only a small part of their life.
Exactly. Nobody posts their boring days. Nobody shares when they feel lost, tired, or unmotivated.
So we end up comparing our full life to someone else's highlight.
And that's a very unfair comparison.
It really is.
But recently, I started thinking maybe the problem is not our life. Maybe it's the way we see it.
That's interesting. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I realized that I was always waiting for something big to happen before I allowed myself to feel happy or satisfied.
Like you need a reason to feel good.
Exactly. But what if we don't need that? What if the small things are already enough?
Like what kind of small things?
Simple moments, like having a good meal, laughing at something random, talking to someone you care about, or even just sitting quietly and feeling calm.
That's true. Those moments are easy to ignore, but they actually mean a lot.
Yes, and when you start paying attention, you realize that life is not as empty as it feels.
I like that perspective.
Also, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves.
In what way?
We expect ourselves to always be productive, always improving, always moving forward.
And if we're not, we feel guilty.
Exactly. Even resting sometimes feels wrong.
That's so true. It's like we forgot how to just exist.
Yeah, we turned life into a constant competition.
But life isn't supposed to be a race, right?
No, it's not. It's more like a journey, and everyone moves at their own pace.
Some people move fast, some move slow, and both are okay.
Exactly. There's no single timeline that works for everyone.
I think that's something people really need to hear.
Yeah, because a lot of stress comes from feeling like we're behind.
When in reality, there's no fixed place we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
So maybe instead of asking, am I successful yet, we should ask, am I growing?
I love that. Growth is a better measure than success.
And growth doesn't always look big. Sometimes it's just being a little stronger than yesterday.
Or handling things a little better than before.
Or simply not giving up.
Yes, that matters more than we think.
And I think we also need to accept that not every day will feel good.
Absolutely. Some days are just hard.
And that's okay.
Yeah, a bad day doesn't mean about life.
That's a powerful reminder.
It really is.
So maybe the goal is not to have a perfect life,
But to learn how to live a real one.
with ups and downs,
With good days and bad days.
with moments of clarity and moments of confusion.
Because that's what makes it human.
Exactly.
And in the end, those small, ordinary days, they're not meaningless.
They are the life itself.
Yes.
All right, before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with one simple thought.
You don't need a perfect life to feel okay.
And you don't need big moments to feel that your life matters.
Sometimes just getting through the day is already enough.
And that's something to be proud of.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed this conversation,
Don't forget to follow this podcast for more simple and real talks about life.
we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.